Imagine an empire so vast, its northern armies couldn't understand the southern farmers' dialects. A court so complex, the emperor's own decrees might get lost between his throne and a provincial governor. This wasn't a weakness waiting to be exploited. It was the very puzzle that, when solved, created one of history's most enduring statecraft inventions. Not the sword, not the wall, but something far more subtle, bureaucracy. And it ran on paper. I'm Ibnul Jaif Farabi, and this is Empire Builders, the rise and fall of civilizations. Before paper, China's Han Dynasty ran on bamboo and silk. Imagine the scene. A single imperial report weighing as much as a person, cartloads of administrative records clattering through the capital. It was clumsy, expensive, and slow. Then, around 105 CE, a court official named Kai Lun presented Emperor He with a breakthrough. A consistent method for creating sheets from mulberry bark, hemp, rags, and old fishnets. This wasn't just a new product. It was a new nervous system for the empire. Paper meant a governor in a distant commandery could now send a detailed report that a single courier could carry. Edicts could be copied perfectly and distributed across the realm simultaneously, creating a unified message from the Son of Heaven. But the true revolution wasn't the material itself, it was what it enabled, the examination system. Starting in the Tang and Song dynasties, the state began to select its officials not based on noble birth, but on merit, tested through standardized exams. And what did they write those exams on? Paper. Thousands of hopeful scholars, from wealthy or modest backgrounds, memorizing the same Confucian classics and inscribing their essays onto identical sheets. This created a shared intellectual language and a loyal administrative class whose power came from the state itself, not from family lands. The empire's brain was now made of paper. This bureaucracy became the empire's stabilizing spine. Dynasties rose and fell. The Mongol Yuan, the native Ming, the Manchu Qing, but the scholar official class, the paperwork, the meticulous records of census, taxation, and granary stocks persisted. A new emperor, even from a foreign conquest dynasty, needed these men and their files to actually rule. The Ministry of Personnel kept records on every official's performance. The Ministry of Revenue tracked the wealth of the realm. Paper trails created institutional memory that outlasted any single ruler. It turned personal, feudal rule into an impersonal, repeatable process. The state wasn't just the emperor anymore. It was the vast, humming administrative machine documented in archives. But every system contains the seeds of its own stagnation. Over centuries, the very tool that built the state's strength began to fossilize it. The civil service exams, once revolutionary, became rigid. Innovation was often stifled in favor of preserving the exact classical knowledge that the bureaucracy was built upon. Corruption found its way into the paper trail, forgery, bribery for postings, meticulous records that masked reality. The bureaucracy became so large, so self-referential, that its primary purpose sometimes seemed to be its own perpetuation, rather than responsive governance. By the late Qing dynasty, the paper trail was immense, but it was failing to document the rapid changes and external pressures from the modern world. The system that had sustained the empire for millennia became a symbol of its inability to adapt. It's a profound paradox, isn't it? The quest for order and longevity creates a system that eventually becomes too heavy to move. I think about this often, coming from a background in engineering and startups. We build systems, code, processes, organizations, to scale and create order. And we must. But the Chinese bureaucratic story is a millennia-long lesson that no system is permanent. It must breathe. It must be able to question its own core assumptions, or the very paperwork that charts its success will eventually map its decline. The most enduring empires weren't just built on great ideas, but on the administrative genius to execute them. And then, they had to find the courage to reinvent that genius itself. For Empire Builders, I'm Ibnul Jaif Farabi. This is a production of Light Not Studios. Find more of our stories and our own humble attempts at building things that last at https://www.lightnotstudios.com.